The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He is Dave Sharapan, still in Florida. I'm Matt Perrault. I'm in Las Vegas. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book, and the same on Twitter X, and that's going to be an important platform when our guest comes on the program today, because you guys have heard us talking about the wildly entertaining Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, whatever you may call it. The Pied Piper of that said Twitter Spaces for gambling Twitter is now joining us today here in the program. Elfie is going to come on in. We are replayed on Sports Grid TV and Sirius XM channel 159. Dave, the question, we know you're in Florida, but where in Florida are you?
I'm actually in Melbourne now. I'm on the east side of the state. Huge winds today in Florida. If you're coming down, be prepared. I was supposed to be outside on the beach and overlooking everything. I'm in the lobby right now, hanging out, waiting to see what the future holds for me. It's an off day for the kids.
Okay.
So they've played Monday, they've played Tuesday, they don't play today, they play Thursday, they play Friday, they play Saturday, and they play Sunday. So today we have an off day. They said, go talk to Perrault and do your thing, and then text us as soon as you're done. So that's what we're doing. So this may be the last show of the week. I'm not sure yet, depending on schedule, time, different things. But we had to do the show today because we got Elf. And for those of you that don't know, I don't know his name either. And we're going to find out if he wants to tell us his name. He can. If he wants to go by Elf, he's going to go by Elf. I don't want to dox anybody, because when you dox someone, you out them. This is what happens on his gambling Twitter Spaces every night late. I can't wait to personally tell Elf that he's messed up my sleep schedule now, because I feel like I have to listen. It's an audio only, but the genius of it is that Elf puts his own camera on so you can see Elf while he's doing it. Apparently the kid was doing streaming and Twitch and all this other stuff in Arbing and teaching people how to do that. And the gambling community didn't like that, so now he's morphed into content. So we'll find out a lot about, as much as we can, about Elf when we get him. I'm excited for the interview. He was on Circles Off with Pizzola, Pizza Man. I like to call him. He dubbed himself Pizza Man. So Pizzola, the pizza guy. I learned a lot about Elf there, and we're going to find out a little bit more today.
So that's going to be fun when he comes on, because I had no idea until one day you said to me, hey, watch this, because this is getting crazy. I mean, there's been some where he's had 40,000 people who have been watching that thing. So last night was interesting. I mean, it turned into a whole, I don't know, a pissing match between Amanda Vance, who is a pick seller, and then Taylor Mathis came on board.
Oh, boy.
Just divulged into what you would expect it to kind of boil down into, which was just a lot of yelling and name calling. So it is. I mean, do you think he gets upset if we call it the Springer Show? Is that an insult to call it that?
I called it the Springer Show. I'll take credit for calling it the Springer Show, because other people went with that as a description. Okay. And whether they say they're watching the show or not, I think somebody's watching the show. So, because I never heard anyone else call it the Springer Show except me.
Right.
So I will defend it and say, you know, it is the Springer Show of gambling Twitter. But I had another epiphany talking to Jackie down here last week when we all got together. The gambling forums back in the day, before there was internet, but it was no social media and stuff like that. the gambling forums is where people found other people. And right now, this gambling Twitter spaces is where people are finding other people. Only now you can hear them. You can't see them. Thank God. Thank God. I don't think anybody
could if
really
they wanted
needs
to. I mean,
yeah,
it has the capability of putting multiple. I mean, that's what X has added, that you can put multiple cameras on, but people haven't done that. But you're right. We can just hear them. It's weird, too, because it feels like this is something that would have caught fire during COVID. Like this would have been something that where we were all locked in our houses and we couldn't do anything else. And so we're just going to go to the internet and talk to each other because that's our only outlet to do that. So now that in 25, this is happening is pretty interesting to me. And the time of night that it happens as well. Like this is not like a 6 p.m. prime time. This is late.
Yeah, this is listen, we're on replay late night. And again, if you're watching us on Sports Grid or listening to us on Sirius XM late night, we're trying to keep it clean this week, but that show, El's show,
not clean.
It's not clean. I don't know who's listening, but if there's lawyers listening, if there's agencies listening, people who have confessed to a bunch of things. Jordan One Star Goro says it's like a car wreck. You don't to see but you can't look away. Goroff, you type too fast. I don't even know what you're trying to say. It's like a car wreck. Yes, you can't look away.
Yes. Rubbernecking.
You have to listen.
Yes.
Yes, it's rubbernecking. It's the ultimate rubbernecking. It's fine. I think it's there's something to be learned from it. I don't know yet what it is.
I think there's a lot to be learned from it. I mean, I think it's interesting. I'm not trying to make war with anybody on this when I say this. It's going to piss people off when I say this, but I think it shows a little bit of the fragility of the male ego when you're listening to it. Oh, because a lot of people, if you say one thing about one guy, it turns into I'm going to bleep you up or I show your slip, or it just turns into like this, blank measuring contest. And it's like, guys, in the end of the day, does this really matter? Like, what are we doing? Like, I win. Like, I love the idea of like people stand on tables and they scream and yell. Okay, you win. So what's next?
Right.
What's the next iteration of you win? I'm happy for you. What is there like a trophy that comes with that? Is there like a t-shirt that you get? Is there a ride you get to go on? Like what's the benefit from that that branding that you're so desperate to get from your peers? So that's my takeaway is I'm always like, well, why? Who cares? I mean, it's your bankroll. It's your money. Who cares if somebody says you don't win? You know it. If they don't know it, who cares?
A lot of times, I mean, people's businesses are dependent upon them winning because they're selling picks. And if you don't win, you don't get to sell picks. You can try, you're just not successful at it. So a lot of people need to tell you that you don't win, but they don't have to tell that they don't win, because if they tell on themselves, then they can't sell. So it becomes you don't win. Well, yeah, but you don't win. Well, then show your records that you do win. Nobody keeps the records accurate. Again, everybody to each their own. We've said it numerous times on this show. I've never paid for picks. I don't think you should, but there are people that will tell you. I mean, I have friends that sell picks, and God bless you. You put in the work. You want paid for your time. I totally get it. That's the standard answer.
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like if you win and somebody finds it worthy to give you money for it, okay. Yeah. We've taken the direction here that we're not doing that. So far, all of our content is free. It has been. We don't even charge for subscriptions. So subscribe to the channel is free for now. Yeah. I mean, until we can't eat anymore, and then we'll figure it out. But that's what people do. So I think I'm interested because he's a young kid. He's really smart, and he's into the content space. And I think we got a lot of questions as to what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so we'll get to all that coming up here in about 10 minutes. And he's psyched to join us, so we're excited to have him.
He called us old heads. I can't wait to hear.
That's okay.
I want to hear why he called us old heads.
Because we are.
First, that's fine, but
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, middle aged. I wouldn't go as far as call us old.
I like old heads better than middle aged.
All right. You guys are asking in the chat, and reminder that we are going to be live from Circuit Sports in Franklin, Kentucky, coming up next week on Wednesday. That is 1 week from tonight. Today, we will be there live. The time of the show at the moment is going to be a 2 p.m. Central Time start. That's a noon Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time start. But we're just going to get to the confirmation. But if you show up somewhere around 2 o'clock, I think you're probably going to be better. You're going to be good to go for us to be live in Franklin. But we're going to be there for like the whole day. We're staying next door. So we'll be there Tuesday. We'll be there Wednesday. The question is, what happens after the show on Wednesday? Do we go to Nashville or do we stay around and hang out for a day? We're still kind of determining whether we're going to do that or not. But for Wednesday, if you just show up during midday, you'll see us. We're going to be there watching games. The first 2 games of the SEC tournament happen that day. That I believe it's noon and 2 o'clock are the first 2 games in Nashville. Local, yeah, in Nashville, Central Time, local. So 10 o'clock Pacific. 12 noon. So our shows, we're trying to effort the show somewhere in between the 2 sessions, the morning session and the night session for the SEC tournament. So we can talk about all the teams that won, preview the games on Thursday, and then highlight the 2 games that we played that night in the SEC tournament. So if you show up midday, you should be good to go with us. We'll be there set up at Circus Sports at the Mint. So when you're putting it into your Google, whatever, your maps, it's the Mint in Franklin, Kentucky is where we're going to be located and going to be doing that show. The following week, that's when we're going to be back in Las Vegas, but we're going to be at Resorts World the following week for us to be there. And you guys can come hang out with us on the 20th and 21st, Thursday and Friday for the NCAA tournament. Those shows at the moment looking like they're going to be somewhere around 3 o'clock, like last time. Local time, 3 o'clock. So 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for us. So as we get going with NCAA,
we may try to get those in the sweet spot too, in that middle.
Yep.
It may be early. I don't know what time they're opening up. We got emails back and forth. We're all going to find out together on that, but that'll be probably one of those watch and hangs. Brett Lalonde. I'm also booked at the Spring Hill Suites at the Mint. Get in Tuesday around noon. Let's go. Perfect. We'll see you there, Palmer.
I land at 1.
Yeah, so I'll be there early as well. So Tuesday we'll do something.
Get up there on Tuesday, and then about a 30-minute drive from Nashville up to Franklin. It's just across the border.
I figure you to land and go to that whiskey joint.
Wow, that's pretty good. You know me pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I'll already be up at the Mint.
That's pretty good. You know,
friends with the people at the book. I figured I'll see you Tuesday night, maybe. Otherwise, Wednesday morning.
Literally, has already been mapped out to do that exact thing. To hop in the car and just go straight from Nashville up to the Elijah Craig Distillery, and then turn around and come back down.
Yeah, I figured that, but that's that was an easy bet. That was an easy lay.
Good
Very
job.
Comfortable way.
So good. Are we coming to the Arnold Palmer Invitational? Edwin, I think this is a recruit.
Hi, Edwin. Are you coming to the Arnie Palmer Invitational? I don't know.
That's in Florida.
That is. It's right. I learned a lot about Florida driving across the state yesterday.
All good or all bad?
No, nothing bad. Just there's a lot of nothing between the east side and the west side, and then you get in the middle in Orlando. And I don't know if it's the happiest place on earth, but it's not the place where the happiest drivers on earth live. I can tell you that. Either there's people late for, breakfast with the characters or something, or, we've been waiting in line all day, so we're mad when we're leaving. I don't know what the hell is going on around Orlando, but around that Disney area, Epcot Center area, it was very interesting. So on the way back, I will be right around where that is. And depending on how the week goes, Thursday, Friday, and then into Saturday, there may be a stop at the Arnold Palmer Invitation.
Wait, one snap. What are you talking about? There's no more bourbon or whiskey in Ontario?
Because of the tariffs.
But you guys have Canadian whiskey. I mean, bourbon technically is a Kentucky term like champagne is for France, but like you guys have Canadian whiskey.
Is it Crown Royal?
Yes. Yeah.
Canadian.
Crown Royal is Canadian whiskey. So what do you mean you don't have bourbon or whiskey?
Wait,
anymore?
does that mean we can't get theirs here? Like, is that a thing?
Yes, that's going to happen. Yeah, and
Really?
ours going up there is going to be problematic as well because of the
So there's going to be
tariffs.
no more Crown Royal here. That's a pretty popular drink.
Oh, he said no more sorry, I missed the U.S. bourbon. Sorry, I read us. No more us. I thought it was a typo. He means U.S. You got to capitalize that stuff, my friend. U.S. U.S.
So we got a lot of
whiskey.
typers. We got a lot of people watching. They're not good typers. Some of them get them sticky keys like Roger Long. Things happen. It's fine. Roger Long is trying to come down, by the way, senior member of the brigade. with
Really?
the Indiana crew. Yeah, we might have a nice contingent from Indiana. Lalande's coming from Ohio. What's happening in the Midwest?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to
Oh.
our friends in Iowa more than anything. But I mean, guys, the pictures this morning are horrific. I've lived through the March blizzard's the worst because you get fake spring. They had fake spring, they call it, in Iowa last week. It was 75 degrees in Iowa last week.
Well, that's not fake. That's real.
No, because they had a blizzard today. So it's fake. It's not real. Spring, it teases them. So they call it fake spring because you feel like you get the garage ready. You get the lawnmower now comes out of the garage and you're greasing it up and putting gas in it and getting ready for the summer and the spring, all the chores you got to do outside in Iowa. And then Mother Nature hits you over the head with a 2x4 and you get a blizzard in March. And
Well,
it
that sucks. Yeah.
it is the worst. It is so awful. So I woke up this morning and I was like, oh no, this is bad. I was like, guys, I'm sorry. Like that stinks. If you're in Iowa, if you're in the Midwest and you're in the way, sorry, Roger Long. Like it's bad on all of this.
That
So,
happens all the time, though. Like I didn't call it fake spring, but I was like, this is a head fake. When you got that, you used to put the top down in February, late February, in the convertible because it would be 65 in Pittsburgh or something.
Right.
And you'd be like, yeah, baby,
Let's
we're
go.
back. And I was like, hold on. My sister's birthday is March 7th, and my brother's birthday, brother Dan, is March 25th. And I used to tell them, we're never done snowing before your birthday.
True.
Before you're like, it's happening again. Like, what are you talking about? I said, it always gets us in March. I said, and it's that wet dump, nasty snow.
yeah, right.
The worst. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I mean, it happens in New England a lot too, but not as dramatic. And when I was growing up in New England, it was bad, but Iowa has it worse just because of the winds that come through the Midwest. It's just like, it gets really, and then you can't see. I mean, there's a huge pileup on I-80 in Iowa today. I think it was I-80, but a huge pileup on one of the highways in Iowa that I saw pictures of. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Like
that sucks.
You're just driving and everything gets just wrecked and ruined. So if you're in the path of that, I know we got a lot of people in the Midwest, that stinks. Be careful. Don't do anything stupid on all of this. All right. He's here. I'm excited for this.
This is great.
We always say, like, we give you the link. Do you actually show up? And he's actually here. He's the host of the wildly popular and entertaining late night Twitter Spaces, call it X, whatever you want. The one and only Elf is joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. What is up, my friend? Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the show.
How are we doing tonight, boys? Hope all's well. Thank you for having me. Also, your background's incredible. Are you on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You may be on a different
Okay,
mic.
cool.
Yeah.
We can hear you, but it's on your
We hear
computer
you.
mic.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is it not clear? Okay. We're good?
Yeah,
We can hear you. Yeah. Matt's an
Okay.
audio professor on the side, so your audio is not perfect, Elf, but that's okay. Nobody
My bad,
is.
boys.
That's okay. I'm actually down in Florida, spring training trip. I'm doing some stuff with MLB Network and my kids and all this other stuff. Matt's in Vegas. You are where, Elf? That's the first
I'm
question.
in Boston. I live in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Where?
perfect. Okay.
Where?
I
Where
don't
in
want to
Boston?
I don't want to like say exactly where.
All right, give me the
Matt's
reach.
from-
I'm
Matt,
in the
Matt,
city.
Matt, tell
I'm
him where
from
you're from, Matt.
Andover. I'm
Matt's
from Andover.
Andover?
So
Okay.
and
I'm in
then
the city. Yeah.
you're in the city. Okay.
Okay.
So you're actually in Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
right.
right. So Elf, you, everyone keeps asking me, do you know Elf's real name? I don't know Elf's real name. Is it standard practice to not use your real name. I don't want to dox you because as an old head, I'm trying to learn all the terms, Elf. If we ask you your real name, you're going to decline to answer that, correct?
I will decline to answer, but I'm not too hard to find. I'll share why, I guess. I mean, you guys have seen my spaces. They get pretty heated.
My God.
For example, I've had my name like leaked on the internet, and then people will like find out my address and stuff like that and start doing some weird stuff. So we're not going to leak the name. Right,
okay, fair.
Why, yeah.
The next question is why Elf? Like, why did you pick Elf as your name? Yes, like, are you short? Because people want to know how tall you are. You look like you're at least 6 foot tall. Is this true?
Yeah. No, I'm tall. Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall. The Elf thing is actually it's directly correlated to my name. Like, if you knew my name, you knew why I go by Elf.
Okay.
Okay. But it has nothing to do with my height. And also, Elf is just like a great brand. You know what I mean? Like who doesn't like it? Like Elf, like Christmas time, it's great. So
it's phenomenal.
All right, so here's my question. So Dave, he came at I don't know, probably 3 weeks ago, was like, you got to go listen to these spaces. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
He's like, it's getting insane. It's turning into absolute anarchy every night, and there's thousands of people who are listening to this, and people are saying the craziest of things. Where did this begin? Where did this come from? And are you even surprised how popular it's become?
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised how popular it's become. It started off, I don't know, you guys probably don't know this, but I used to stream my betting back in January last year. And I had gotten it was a terrible idea because I was doing a lot of advantage gambling. So I got limited or banned from every single sports book here in the state of Massachusetts. So I stopped streaming. And then I was like, you know what? Like, let me just fire up a Twitter Spaces. Like, people started doing Twitter Spaces, and I would just be doing Twitter Spaces while I was betting, and they were fun. And people would start talking shit to each other live on the Spaces, and then all of a sudden, it started gaining traction to a point where we were getting I was getting a lot of viewers. And then once you start getting the viewers, you could leverage those viewers to get guests and stuff like that. And then once you get guests, more people tune in. So that's kind of how it grew. But it literally just started off a whim. Like, I was just bored with my friends, and we were just hopping in there, chopping it up on Twitter Spaces, and it's grown into what it is now. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable what's happened.
Yeah.
Now, I know, and you look great. You're a young dude. You got that nice head of hair that you just let it go sometimes, and other times. I lived in Curacao in 1997 and 98, and I was down there when offshore started. Okay. So I'm in the business longer than you are old, which is okay. I mean, old head as it is, it's fine. But I'm watching the people pop into the Twitter Spaces, and I'm always up there, and I'm listening. And there's so many times I want to jump in and say something else, but I don't know how to do it. So that's why I wanted to have you on. But two, how do you moderate all of these personalities? Because you got some people coming in that either want to talk or are saying some stuff that's going to keep you on late night Twitter Spaces. You ain't getting on NBC anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not getting on NBC anytime soon with the way the Twitter Spaces are going. But no, it's pretty much impossible to moderate these things because people want the drama, they want the beef, and then you bring on these big personalities. Like, I'm bringing on literal scammers and criminals, and sometimes even mobsters. These guys don't really care what they say on air, and they'll say just crazy stuff. And yeah, the moderation is very difficult because a lot of these, pretty much everyone I bring on has a big ego. Like, they all want to talk. They all want to be the loudest in the room. So when I do have to moderate and mute them and remove them, they just get so pissed and they send me DMs. It's impossible to moderate, but I'm doing my best. But yeah, it's part of the game. I've gotten better at it recently, but it's definitely very difficult.
I think what you've uncovered is an underlying anger in the spaces, in the content community, towards those that are using things that men don't have to get attention. And whether it's right or wrong, whether it's appropriate or inappropriate for guys to call it out or whatever it might be, it's wild to hear it in real time and then the subjects of those conversations, you're bringing them onto the spaces. So it's not like people are having a bitch session about Taylor Mathis. Taylor was on last night. Like she's showing up to be on this and have conversations. As a moderator, what is that like trying to keep, herding cats in that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because that's actually kind of how I first blew up was I did the Taylor Mathis and Nadeau segment. Like I had them kind of argue. So Taylor came on last night and Dan, he also runs a radio show. He was going at her character like really, really hard because of the crypto coin. And she had kind of already addressed everything with the crypto coin like already on the spaces, but I don't think Dan was there. So he just brought it up again. Right. So it's kind of one of those things where it's you bring on a character like Taylor, all they want to talk about is the crypto coin with Taylor. Right. Even though Taylor has she has opinions of her own and she wants to talk about what happened with Amanda. So that's kind of what happens though is I'll bring on a guest and they'll talk about another guest. And then another guest will see that person's on and they'll come up and start going at that guest. And it just kind of forms like a circle of people hating each other.
So Davis dubbed this the Jerry Springer of the sports betting world. Are you okay with that? He's called it that?
Yeah, no, I think it's fair. It's definitely fair. It's hard to argue it. I mean,
it wasn't to be a negative because Jerry Springer was a very successful talk show host and brought on characters.
I love Jerry Springer.
That's what I'm saying. So, and that spans generations. It's a train wreck. You watch it. We need a Steve to kind of be your, either man of the library or somebody's like, kind of your guard. Nadeau does a pretty good job. I think Nadeau would be in line to be Wilkos, the big guy that has to get people out of there when they get going. But listen, you're a smart kid. And I use the term kid for everybody. Don't take offense to it. And, don't take offense to Jerry Springer of sports gambling. This is a really interesting thing. Yeah. You talked about it with Pizza Guy, Pizzola, and this actuary thing, and you're a math guy, very sharp. You make money betting. Why in the hell do you want to do the content? Because the content, I'm just letting you know, it don't pay. The content, why do you want to even do this and get associated with a lot of these people?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I made less money last month when I was doing the spaces because I was, instead of gambling at night, I was doing the spaces. I do it because it's fun. Simple as that. It's just fun. You know what I mean? You're right. It doesn't pay as much as, the normal stuff I do, but it's a lot of fun, and that's why I do it. So,
did you ever consider going to work for a book? Because one, you go to the dark side, but two, you ain't going to make nearly as much money. I mean, I worked in the books for years. You can't. It's like somebody said it once at the first bet bash. I can't remember if it was Bennett or Metcalf or somebody, but it was a great analogy. The book is like the public defender, where the pro sports bettors are like the defense attorneys. So you'll never consider coming to work for a book, would you?
No, I mean it's. I think it's just simple economics. Once I get to the point where I'm making less money betting into the books than working for the books, I would work for a book. If that was an option, right? But there are some books that I wouldn't work for. If I was to work for a book, I'd probably want to work for FanDuel or something because I have a lot of respect for them for how they operate. But I wouldn't want to work for some of the other soft books in the U.S. I know how they trade, and it'd be pretty boring, in my opinion. So
very boring.
Do you ever get to the point during a conversation where you're going all right, this is not where I want to be? We're in a murky space that this doesn't make me feel comfortable that we're actually talking about this right now?
I mean, many times. I can name so many times. I don't know if you want me to share some live on the air, but
do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times where people there's been times when people incriminate themselves. There's been I don't want to name the person, but there was times about talking about underage girls being attractive.
That was bizarre. I was on that one. That was what are we doing?
Yeah. I don't want to name that person, but we gave them many, many chances to kind of amend their statement, and they just kept doubling and tripling down. It was really bad. we've had people like admit to federal crimes live on air. We had someone say that they scammed someone for $150,000 bookmaking without a license. And we had a guy come up who lost the $150,000, and he told him, he's like, if I had $15 million in my bank account, I wouldn't pay you back a cent. So we've had stuff like that go on.
I mean, you have the self-proclaimed gambling king of tennis that seems to be everyone's pinata that everyone loves to take whacks at.
Well, I mean, he deserves it though, because he scammed so many people. I keep every single new day. I got another bookie in my DM saying they got scammed by MPB. But now I got people DMing me claiming to be scammed by MPB.
Oh,
so I always make them like send proof or whatever, like DMs with him or his phone number or something like. So
did you know any of these people before the spaces began?
Not a lot of them. Like I didn't know them as well as I know them now, because now I can like interact with them in a longer form setting. Like I'm doing these spaces for like 4 to 5 hours a night,
right?
Pretty much like 3 or 4 times a week.
I mean, when you get Jeffrey Benson that unplugged and you get just straight raw Benson, it is some of the most entertaining things you can put into the world. Like it's just let him go. You just sit back and just go right.
Yeah, we've had 2 Benson cameos. The first Benson cameo was when Man in the Library was saying that Benson was swiping his player's card.
Yep.
And the second Benson appearance was when Sean Perry came on and was saying that he got limited. Oh, Lord. Which was well, Benson said it was true. You know, Perry was firing big, and then they brought him down to normal bet sizes. And Perry also admitted it wasn't even his action. He had a team of people originating for him.
Yeah, so, this is part of the problem.
Yeah.
When people talk about how books run, they don't really know how books run. There's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff in the space where, I mean, after that first call when Benson came on, I actually called Jeffrey and said, you know, Jeff, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, why? And I said, well, I heard you get pretty fired up on that spaces with Elf. I just want to make sure you're all right. Do you need me to come pick you up, or, you know, you want to go out to eat or anything? He said, no, I'm good. But the ability for you to kind of listen and let people go after each other, and you really stay calm. But there's been some accusations, you know, Elf. I mean, about, you know, I'm going to call you the donut guy because all this glazing stuff that's going on. Are there times now where are you learning, or do you ever feel like you need to kind of maybe go after somebody when they say something that, you know, needs to be questioned, because we're all listening on the outside going, Elf, ask him the obvious question. What is he talking about? Or he's making this up. We know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. Even the guy that's talking knows it. And you're sitting there, you know, time to make the donuts. I mean, these accusations are true.
I'd say there's some truth to these accusations. I have to do what I have to do to get these guys on the show, but I will say I always let the dogs get a chance to bite. You know what I mean? I always let the people, besides last night when Amanda left early, but every single time people have been able to ask questions to the guests, right? I just don't think it's my role as the host. My goal is to like create a setting in which people can question these people and, you know, confront them for their past wrongdoings. I don't think it's my job. I will say this: I do bite back when people come at me, though. That's when I bite back. And Matt Shakin said he's seen it. So I don't take shit, but
rightfully so. I mean,
you can't.
Rightfully so. You should. But clear it up, though. Was that known by you before? Did Amanda tell you she was going to come in and do the flyby?
No. She didn't tell me she was going to do the flyby. She told me she wanted the first 10 to 15 minutes to talk. Just herself, right? Okay. And to be fair to her, like, you guys couldn't see the video, and I was disappointed. Twitter Spaces, the tech is so bad. Like, I'm always like lagging out if you're joining a burner. It's so annoying. But everyone on the panel, like myself, Library, Mal, like, we could see Amanda. She had a whole backdrop. She had a whole outfit. And she wasn't like reading off a script or anything. She had like a whole thing, right? So I told her I would give her like the first 10 to 15 minutes to share. And usually I tell people, like, all right, first 10 to 15 minutes, you come on the Spaces, like, it'll be an interview, right? Like, me and you talking, you know, I'll interview you, just get to know you. And I do this with everyone. Like, I did it with Cash Out King, Measy, like, literally anyone, right? And I was like, okay, I'll do that with you, Amanda. So that was kind of like in my head, the first, like, the interview segment. You know what I mean? Like, she had her time to speak. instead of choosing to do like questions with me, she just chose to speak. Right, and have the face cam, which didn't work.
Because it came off like an ad. She got to sell for 10 minutes, and then she ran. The second that someone had a real question to ask her when she was claiming, I've won 66%, and she started chucking out all these different things. And then the second anybody was going to actually push back on it, she scooted and ran. That looked, I'm just going to be honest, it looked bad. It looked like
it looked really bad on me. I mean, there was really nothing I could do about it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean bad on her, not bad on you. It looked bad on her that she got to come in and make all these claims and then not stick around to back it up.
Yeah. I will say the people in the space were saying she threw me off when she said, she's like, oh, Elf, like we could link in person. And then people were saying that I got shocked because of that. So that's laughing.
Yeah, she was very adamant about saying like I am successful not because of what I look like, and like you're talking to a bunch of guys in a guy's space. It's like I follow her on Instagram. Don't tell me you don't use that to your advantage. That's nonsense.
Yeah, she's definitely a smart girl. Like she knows how to market.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no denying she's an attractive female. Like I think she's a cheerleader for like the Dolphins or something.
Yes,
she was. Yep.
Yeah. So she's very good looking. So I mean, she knows how to.
That doesn't make her winning better, right? That doesn't make her.
So those are the claims she has to defend. You know, I mean, she could have came up and said, "Listen, like I'm not the one originating my plays. Like I have this nerd college kid from MIT, computer science, doing it, part of the business. I'm the face." Like, I don't know.
She didn't say that though. She said, "I win." She goes, "I've been winning," and she did the same thing that everybody does. That's come on. I've listened to 3 or 4 year spaces now, and everyone says the public is why I sell picks. Everyone sent me 100 DMs. Everyone came at me. All this. It's the same playbook, Elf. It's like they need a new playbook as to why they're selling picks.
Yeah, the only one that's come on the spaces and admit that they've ever lost was Bright Angle Sports, and that was like they're probably one of the most legit sports selling picks that really try to,
no question.
They're the only ones that have admitted that they've lost. So no one loses. Have you ever met a gambler that admits they lose? No, right?
Elf, I've been looking. I've been looking literally on gambling Twitter for about 10 years. And nobody on gambling Twitter loses. Now, I've worked in the books in Vegas for 17 years and took a lot of people's bets. And I would say it's not the truth. Like, people lose. The books in Vegas are still open. Offshore, a lot of these people that are, OGs in the space, they bet, they lose too. Like, you can't always win because then the books would close. So the reality of it is
or you get limited.
It's different. Yeah, or get limited. Yeah. How do you explain? So you started literally betting like with this promotional offer 2 years ago. I mean, 2023. It's 2025. You find a way to ARB. You use Odds Jam. The story's fascinating. How quickly you ramped it up. But you understand this isn't normal, right? Like not anybody can just do what you did as far as learning how to win at betting. And there are times you lose as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Things even if you're arbing, live arbing, you'll mess up and you'll get hooked on the line for a lot of money, like more money than you want to bet, and you'll lose. I've lost plenty of times.
Yeah.
You reverse middle yourself, like.
That's the absolute worst. When you do that, that's no good. But like I think do you? So as someone who's younger, and I'll just say you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
You see this business from your point of view, and I see it from I'm 54 years old, and like I said, I was down in Curacao in my 20s, so I learned the business young, like you. I saw it for what it was. You're going to be an actuary. You're going to be like you're going to have a career and a life. Why are you gambling?
I mean, well, I'm making a lot of money. I make way more gambling than my actuarial job, like almost like more than double. So
okay.
One, I do it for the money, and two, I do it for fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. Like,
can it last though? Is it sustainable?
No. Definitely.
Well, okay. So tell young guys and people that are watching and listening, why is it not sustainable?
One, if you win long term, you're gonna get limited. You're gonna get banned. There's 2 routes you could choose. You could choose the routes of grinding on your limited accounts, branching out to offshores, which is what I'm currently doing, and it's much more difficult. You have to be really good at what you do to like make it worthwhile. And 2, the other route is you could try to like find betting partners and stuff like that, and then you have the risk of you're breaking terms of service on the sports books. They could shut you down, take your money with every right. You could get stiffed by your partners because you're sending them money. It's in their name. They don't have to pay you. They legally don't have to pay you. Those are the 2 routes that you can go. And also like books are getting smart. They get smarter every single month. You know what I mean? Like every single time. I've had so many edges die over the course of time. Like it's pretty edges just come and they die. So like once there'll be a time when I just don't have an edge anymore. And then it's like, all right, back to normal life, right? Full time, back to content, I guess.
Elf, what do you hope people, if our audience has not come over to your Twitter Spaces yet, and they're going to go do so the next time you host it, what do you want newbies to get out of your spaces?
Easy answer is entertainment. Don't come to the spaces and expect to be educated on betting. That is not the show. Just literally come to the spaces, sit back, relax, and enjoy people shitting and hating on each other. That's all I'll say. Just enjoy it. Yeah.
It's literally if you don't like the Springer analogy, it's the National Enquirer. Okay,
Yeah.
You pick it up, and again, maybe I'm showing my age, but on the way out of the grocery store, it's right there. It's trash. It's this. It's that. But it's entertaining as hell.
Yeah,
and you want to read about it. It's people you might know or you'll get to know in a real loose environment, which I love. I can't start. When I first started listening, I was like, wait a second. Nadu's listening, Spanky's listening, Pizzola was on. I saw Benson pop in. I'm in. My wife is going, what are you doing every night? Because I would have to disappear because that Mink Milf, what that guy's name that was talking about the parties.
Mickey Mace. Yeah.
Listen, that one almost got me divorced though. My wife heard that and said, what are you listening to? I'm like, it's a gambling show. She said, that doesn't sound like a gambling show. There was nothing about gambling.
There's not much about gambling on my show.
Yeah, there was a Baccarat edge and all this other crap. I mean, I don't know how unless you're cheating at Baccarat, there's no edge. But that's the reality of it. Your guy can say what he wants. The last question from me, because we appreciate your time. We know you're busy. Do you trust anybody in this space? Nobody.
I've trusted less people after the space now. I think that the best rule of thumb is to not trust them unless you've met them in person. It doesn't matter who they are. Like everyone at the end of the day has their own self-interest in mind. Like I would say they would probably stiff or scam you if the opportunity was right to do it. Like if something weird happened in your business relationship, like they'd probably seize on that opportunity. Like it's best to just kind of, if you are going to trust anyone, just stick with like very, very close friends and family. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I don't trust anyone on the internet. Definitely not.
Along the same lines, my last question to you is: you've sort of pulled back for folks that are just like casually in the gambling space. You've pulled back and exposed. I mean, that's the wrong word, but shown a light onto a lot of personalities that run around here in Vegas that people in the books know and see quite often. Yeah. Is it worrisome at all that you don't want to use your real name or where you really live? That these are kind of some weird people that you're talking to every night that one day might want to be, as the kids say, in IRL, in real life, come and see you?
Am I worried? No, I think these guys are all internet tough guys. They all talk. They would never do anything in person to me. I don't think, at least. So I'm not sweating it. The only one that should be probably sweating is MPB.
Yeah, that guy should be sweating. Are you coming to Bet Bash? Are you coming?
Yeah, I am. I'll be there.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, so if nothing else, we will meet in person in Vegas at Bet Bash. If we get back to the Boston area and do a live show, we'll try to hook up.
Yeah, just DM me.
So
now we got the contact info. Yeah. We'll keep it tight. Yeah,
I'm there. I'm back in Boston all the time. So hopefully I'll buy you a beer for doing this and saying thank you very much for coming on. When's the next space? When are you hosted next?
We're doing another one tonight. A bunch of people are sending me money as an escrow for the Zilbert bet slip. So he's coming on the space. See, this is what
I've had my own history with him. So what's
Oh,
tell me the story quick. Wait, on the way out, what's the story?
Zilbert came on the spaces and he was shitting on a lot of people, especially the book it people. And his last tweet was a parlay that he hit, and people didn't think he bet the bet slip, so they told him to tweet it, and he didn't tweet it. So what happened was and everyone's gamblers, so they started betting. Right. Zilbert, I'll pay you $100 right now if you post the bet slip. And then he's like, well, I don't know. And then it just started piling on and on and on. And then now he's saying he's not going to post it unless I hold the money escrow. So people are sending me money escrow. I've collected like $900 in the last hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They really love this bet slip.
This is incredible.
And I'll say on this, like you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. This like when you watch the spaces, you kind of learn about the characters.
Yeah.
And then it's way better because you know the characters. You
know, like,
for
us, it's way better. We know all these people. Like we all have our run-ins, our own histories with these guys.
So even when I say like, oh, what's the show tonight? I'm like, oh, Zilbert's coming back. I've collected money escrow. You guys start laughing. So it's like. Yeah, it's like when you build the lore, it just keeps growing and growing. Right?
Which is what you're doing with people that have stories and already things established, which makes it cool for old heads like me, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this person. Like, I don't know. I mean, Zilbert would probably come on our show, but I don't know what we would say to him.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that have been either, and I'm not saying this particularly about Zilbert, but have been lying or telling a story or a certain narrative. And then when they got to tell the truth, it's a lot different. So last one for me, you said Zilbert tonight. Are you going to get this Steve guy on that
Steve Stevens?
Is it because I saw the other day and I literally tried to take a nap during the day so I could stay up and listen to this one. And I was like, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen, Elf?
Believe me, I was more disappointed than anyone that he canceled because I had put a ton of legwork into getting it. Like I was literally texting Steve. I was on the phone with him. He was telling me the lines that he would say in the show.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with this guy. He's like, listen, Elf, like your picks are only as good as how many people you could sell them to. That's exactly what he would say.
Yeah.
Like this is surreal, right? But he said he has to do it after. He said like around April. That's what he said.
Okay. So after March. So after he sells all the March Madness packages. Just so you know, him and his guys used to come in to the book at the M. And
so you're at the M Casino?
I started in Curacao in the late 90s, and then I went out to Vegas, Golden Nugget, M Casino, Cosmo, Venetian, West Virginia as a director, short stint, and then back. And we managed all the properties for, Cantor Gaming. So, I was in the risk room, odds maker, taking bets, trying to figure out whether you're using a bot or not, and software and this stuff. Like, that's the other thing that kids don't understand. You're using software to help you do what you do. You can't do what you're doing without the software, right?
No, definitely not. I mean, you could, but it would be way less efficient.
Yeah, way less efficient. Well, all right. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, buddy. Good stuff. Appreciate it. I'll be watching tonight. What time approximately are you starting?
9 Eastern. Yeah.
9 Eastern. Give out the Twitter handle.
It's at YELFF_. So it's Y then elf _. But I think if you search elf on Twitter, it comes up. I'm not sure though. But yeah,
right. No, it does. That's how I found you. It does. Type in elf and pop right up. So it does.
Okay.
We'll be watching tonight, my friend. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Elf joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book. He is the host of the Popular Twitter Spaces that will be on tonight for that. For you guys who want to watch that. If you haven't seen it, it's worth the time. It's funny. Lord. It's unique. I'll just say that. It's a very unique show.
It is. It's the forums. It's for you guys that have been in the space for a long time. This is the gambling forums, but it's actual voices and responses where, guys used to be, keyboard warriors and post something. Yep. And then somebody would retort with a reply. Now they ask to be called on and they ask to be, allowed to speak. And then they go back and forth at each other. And there it is right there, CBW. Thank you very much. At Y ELFF.
Underscore. Don't forget the underscores there.
Yeah.
So it's 9:00 Eastern time tonight. He's right. It goes until like 9 our
Way
time
long.
on the West Coast. We're up late at night on the West Coast. So on the East Coast, shows you that's crazy. He's in Boston. That makes me laugh. He's in Boston. I was like, oh my, he's in Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's some, and that's what I was like, why is Lip Snaps on it? Like 98.5, hosts that, do gambling podcasts were on there. I was like, where does that connection come from? And that makes sense because he's in Boston. That makes total sense that he is there. So look, I think there's all different levels to that show that exposes, like we were talking about beforehand, about the way, because gambling Twitter has evolved, right? There's all different layers to it. There's the sharps, there's the ghosts, there's the groups, there's the content people, there's the people that are angry at the content people. Like there's and it all kind of comes out in the middle of this, because listening to Benson go ahead and go back and forth and call people frauds and assholes is unbelievable. Like it's free. I mean, I'd pay for it. It's so funny to watch Benson go at people.
Well, you have to understand, when guys come at you, and we used to see it in the book all the time. The guys in the book have a job, and they can't risk losing the job to actually out somebody or say the truth.
Right.
On there, Benson is able to just say whatever he wants. Like he comes on here and he's loose because he's comfortable.
Right.
And he's pretty comfortable when he goes on a lot of other things. But that guy came on there accusing him of some stuff. And, he was just like, listen, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And when you get the DM that they are talking about X or Y or Z, because it's happened to me, I'm not listening. And then I get the DM or the text, hey, they're on this on Elf. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to dial in and listen. Yeah, it is free for now. He's got a sponsor, this Bet 105, which again, crypto books. I'm learning about that stuff every day. They're doing whatever they're doing. It's an exchange. So hopefully, they won't get kicked off of being able to do business, which we'll have a little story about here shortly. It's wild. It's no holds barred. It's really unfiltered, and it will set you back. Like if you're not prepared, you'll be like you'll get stunned a couple times. Like with a left right combo, you're like, did I just hear that? Did they just say that? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why I can't believe that certain people go on there, because I'm like, what is the benefit of your appearance? For certain people who we know, you've got either skeletons or you've got a weight that's going to hold you down, that you're not going to go into there and fighting with both hands up. You got one hand tied behind your back, and you're going to go in there against some people that are going to not take it easy on you. I don't get why it's like this need for validation that certain people in the space have. And there's gatekeepers. Like there are people in the gambling space, when you really start to go down deep, there's people that gatekeep as to whether you're going to be considered real or not. And I can't figure out why certain people need that validation from those people, because you're never going to get it. They're never going to give it to you ever. So why are you so desperate for it? And it's just like, it's like watching a slow moving train wreck. It's like you're watching going, oh no. And you know what's about to happen. And then it happens. And that person just gets viciously attacked.
The reality of it is you don't need the validation. And I don't know why people want it so much. You're right. They do. And the gatekeepers, can go F themselves. I mean, there's no need to do that. If you feel like you need to call something out for you, then do it. But again, there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, in the content space, in the gambling space. I don't feel the need to call it out, even when I know the truth. Or if you ask me, I will tell you. But I don't need to go on there and say this or say that. For the new people trying to come up, I would advise the same thing, right? Like, do your thing. And
the thing that pisses me off when I listen to it is that there's people on there who claim to be, my authenticity is my calling card. And it's like, oh no. It's like, no, it's not. Like, come on. Like, yeah, like that's what bothers me. Is like, if you're gonna claim to be authentic and real, and the reality is that you're not, like that's what gets people pissed off, and that's what gets the spaces going. Because somebody will come in and say something that's blatantly not true. Everyone knows it's not true. And then all of a sudden it turns into this gigantic, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like what happened when I was talking about with a pro tennis player who literally got called out for stiffing a bookie. And the bookie was like, you owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars, going back and forth after the kid said he wins in tennis.
Yeah, but see, like that's on the bookie.
Fine.
To get stiffed 6 figures, you're not paying attention to your business. And if you're stiffing somebody 6 figures, you're never walking without looking over your shoulder again. Yeah. It's not a good scenario for either one. And I've been in between a lot of those situations in the past, known people that have done, not maybe for those types of figures, but for things in that neighborhood. And it's an uncomfortable event for both. I just don't know where it's going. I mean, and having his kid on is great. It was fun. I thought he did pretty good.
Yeah. He's a personality. I mean, that's why I think it's fun when he's hosting it, because for the most part, it's letting basically 2 beta fish fight each other in one pool. But it's also because he can egg it on and he can get it going, and he gets attacked as well. Because, like I said with Elf in the interview, like the Amanda Vance thing last night was awkward. Like she came on, she spoke for 10 minutes, she gave an advertisement for herself, and then she ran. So like it wasn't how it normally would go. Normally it's, here's my story, here's who I am, and then somebody would say, okay, Amanda, can you answer X, Y, and Z for me, because it doesn't make sense why this happens.
Right.
And everyone else had stuck around for that Q&A section. She hung up, and that made everybody's head explode. Like that was the worst.
Yeah,
because it went that way.
And again, you can't always control that, but like that's the beauty of that whole Twitter Spaces thing. And I almost think we should do it once a week at night or something, just to kind of see who shows up, or we can talk in like 15 minutes to see who comes in and talk about like what's going on right then at that moment, or at night, or recap something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of different ways to interact. I think what people want is interaction.
Fair. And look, we have to call it out. There's a lot of guys in this space who are up late at night because they're up looking at lines, and it's 2:00 in the morning and there's no one to talk to. Like,
yeah, it's like them late night call-in shows, right?
Yeah.
You're taking calls and letting people in. I don't know. Like a lot of people come at Trent. Trent's in there a lot. Like he's just hanging out, picking up whatever he's doing. Trent's not up looking at lines. I mean, maybe he's crafting up a lay or whatever he calls it. I don't know. But he's in there, and Spanky's in there. Spanky got 4 kids. I got 3 kids. Like I'm wondering what the hell Spanky's doing up at night listening to this, and he'll get on and be talking to somebody. The who's who of people in there. We're gonna have to have Nadu in there.
You know why though? Yeah, I mean, I love Jeff. Jeff's great, but like we know why it happens though, because you and I, the same thing when you and I are talking and our kids are asleep. It's the same type of thing. It's the time when you get the guy time. It's the decompression time. It's the everyone's asleep and the house is quiet, and you're just looking for something just to connect with somebody and have a conversation about your day or what's happening. Or
I guess, yeah.
You read something in the paper and you're like, what the hell was that? Like, why did that happen? Or, what's the next step in this process? Like, so I get why it fits a perfect time. It's just, it goes on and on and on and on.
We need to shorten it. It needs to be a beginning, middle, and
6
end.
hours is ridiculous. Like that is holy crap.
It's too long.
I like going back when, like, even last night. I think last night was 4 hours. I went back this morning and listened to it and just fast forward to the parts that I wanted to hear.
Right.
Because it's just too long. Most of it is just rambling and just, nonsense. So like, but there are some really juicy things that are there that you want to listen to and be a part of and see it happen. So I mean, it is a very cool, unique thing in the gambling space that if you're not into gambling, you're going to think this is the biggest bunch of babies yelling at each other about things that do not matter. But if you're in the space or like the space or curious about the space, it's a soap opera.
It may not keep you. It's been called brain rot. It's been like there's literally people that call brain rot. I don't know. In Elf's defense, he did call it perfectly. Don't listen to get smarter.
Right.
Listen to it for entertainment.
Right.
So nobody's giving away any secrets, and nobody's giving away any, ways to beat the books or, get an edge or any of that stuff. People are coming on to communicate back and forth. It's a lot of yelling. It's not a lot of listening.
High school. It's baloney high school.
It might be middle school. Let's be
middle school. Fine.
We might go be back.
Yeah. Not crazy.
Yeah.
Talati, did we hear the Nevada Gaming Board sent a cease and desist letter to Kalshi? Let's go right into it because it's on the rundown here.
Yes.
There is the letter that the Nevada Gaming Control Board sent to Kalshi telling them to stop offering event-based contracts in the state of Nevada. Does this hold any more weight than other states that are coming on in? And does this open up Nevada now to start looking at those social casinos and social sports books and saying no more?
I'm going to find out more about this probably today. I was at the field last night getting texts from people. I saw it on social media. Listen, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, it's been a tremendous tool to hear things and communicate with people, not just on Twitter spaces and yelling at people in Elf spaces, but for stuff like this. My first reaction was this. Great. They send cease and desist letters to offshores all the time. Doesn't really mean it does anything. I think what this does is maybe set a precedent. At least Nevada's paying attention. Like, hey, this is our livelihood. This is our business. There's a proper way to do this, and you guys aren't doing it. You need to stop doing your business here. Well, do you think it holds any weight? I don't know.
No, I think it's complete bullshit that they decided to wait till after the election. I think it's a derelict of duty for Nevada Gaming to sit there and have billboards in the middle of the strip. Gigantic, huge billboards across the street from the Bellagio. Huge. Bet on the election here. Bet. Not play or buy a contract. Bet on the election at Kalshi. And then now when it's March, it's right before the NCAA tournament, after the Super Bowl and after the election, the two biggest betting events that Kalshi was going to have, now we're going to say, hey, stop. Like, I don't understand this. It's really
There's
weird.
A lot of red tape. There's a lot of red tape. Probably took 3 months
to send the cease and
desist.
Come on.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that you would be shocked, surprised, and very frustrated if we had to do things through the Nevada Gaming Control Board. You would. I'm telling you, I lived it. I mean, this is the way things work. They move glacially slow. Okay. And again, I don't know if it has any teeth, but you're right. The timing of it is odd because we're in the March Madness. Like it's over for 6 months. After March,
they came in and made all their money. They advertised like crazy all over the place.
Yeah,
and they made all this money, and they bragged about how much money they were making and how much of a handle they did for the Super Bowl. And now on March the 4th, we're gonna send a letter saying, "Hey, dude, you guys got to stop. You can't do this anymore." What?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
So that was my whole thing was like, this is so little too late from a Nevada Gaming Control. And if I'm a book, I'm going like, wait a minute, guys, you're supposed to protect my bottom line. I pay all this money. I pay you taxes. I pay you license fees, all the things. You guys come and give me a proctology exam every year. I got to go and let your people sit there and look at my books and everything else. And you're letting these guys advertise on the strip. Hey, bet here with us. Come bet with Kalshi. It's too little too late.
That's exactly probably what folks were thinking. Friends of mine in the business were like, didn't even know that it even happened. So it wasn't like, hey, we're out to, protect you, like you said, or protect your interests or protect our business, protect our state. No, we're sending this out because somebody told us we had to. That's what I got the feeling of.
Fair. And if it took 3 months to get a cease and desist letter sent out, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Like, just tell them to stop operating, and then you could apply for a license like everybody else, because it's gambling. Like it's gambling. It's ridiculous. Report came out yesterday that Fanatics has jumped over Caesars and they're now number 3. Their handle in December made them behind DraftKings and FanDuel. Are we seeing Fanatics start to pick up some steam here?
Yes. They're doing a pretty good job marketing. I don't know if they're using their list like they said they were going to use their list.
Right.
As far as getting new customers, but it sounds like, and again, I've never used it, so I don't know specifically, but it sounds like they are retaining customers as well or better than any of the other books, where they're keeping people. I tweeted the other day, Kyrie got hurt. They gave back all the money. They graded it as winners.
Yeah.
And J-Dow Bet says they have been very aggressive. J-Dow would know. He's very closely involved in the business with DK. So I'm sure DK is aware of what Fanatics is doing. They've been very aggressive. Now they also, this business is very dirty. They go after customers. They find, people that are betting with other books and say, come over here. We'll give you bonuses. We'll give you, makeups, all these other things, whatever you can do to get them in your ecosystem. They ain't ever going to be out west, though.
This is it. But this is it. The ability to buy merch with bonus points is a big damn deal for a lot of people. Look, in radio, I can tell you, I watch people do the stupidest things for a T-shirt. Like some of the dumbest things you'd ever imagine. I watched a girl drink a gallon of milk for a T-shirt, and she threw it up within 30 seconds of finishing the gallon of milk. It all came right back up just to get a T-shirt. Like, people do stupid things all the time. So you give somebody, say, hey, if you bet with us, we're going to give you bonus points, and the bonus points can be used for hats and T-shirts. That's enough to have them switch to not use BetMGM or not use somebody else.
Good luck. I mean, if that's, I'd rather just buy the merch and not worry about the betting. You know what I mean? Marlboro Miles. There you go, Roger.
I just told the story of Marlboro Miles to my kids on Monday at UNLV. I told them the story of it blew their mind. Yep. They had never heard of Marlboro Miles. They had they never knew what a catalog was that you go and search and for all the things you bought. And they're like, how is this legal? I was like, it was legal for years. Everybody wanted that Zippo. That was the big thing. You get that Zippo lighter from the Marlboro magazine. You go and suck heaters and just to go ahead and buy them and to get it. So, yeah, absolutely.
We sold those Zippo lighters at my dad's store at Ralph's. Those were good lighters. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, you didn't have to smoke a carton of cigarettes to get it.
Right.
Little did you know that. But
right. Buy it straight.
That's wild.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, that's true. Hawaii may very well be the next state to legalize. So you want to go get a book? Is this the plan here? Is our retirement plan to go book games in Hawaii?
I sent you that text last night. It's only $250K. The license is only $250K, and the taxes is 10%. Now, if we can lock that in,
right,
we could scrape up $250K. I know that. Not us personally.
Right.
We could get investors,
right,
100% in for the $250K. We just have to lock in the 10%. Let's go to Hawaii, Yorkie. Listen, the conversations. It came up at dinner last night. I said, hey, just so you know, they're talking about this. Now, I know, and Ruddock put it out, there's no chance this is going to pass. There's no chance this is going to pass. Zero.
Well, it passed one of the houses. It passed one branch. So it's dead on arrival on the next one?
DOA. Done. Toast.
Wow.
Dead.
Why?
Let's put it this way. There's too much opposition to it.
What, in Vegas? Because we know in Vegas
No.
A lot of people who are in that state have always been anti-gambling. What's going on around you?
No. The guy just decided to drag the chairs instead of picking them up. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that's all right. Good for him. Yeah, want to give him one of these. No. There's people. Listen, gambling's been going on in Hawaii for a long, long time, and they've been laying 120. Yeah, but they've been laying 120.
Okay.
For a long time. Like straight bets are 6-5.
Wow.
I didn't realize that until I got to the Golden Nugget, living in Vegas. The California hotel is literally like going to Hawaii.
Yeah. Ninth
and
Island.
when I saw that here, the amount of business that we did at the Golden Nugget on the Hawaii games was alarming. Like, because when I first started, I worked the evening shift. I was either a 2 to 10 guy, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., or sometimes I would come in at 6 p.m. and work until 2 and help close the book. So we would take the Hawaii bets and cash them out. Can't begin to tell you how many people bet that game. It's a big deal on the island. They're not going to let somebody just come in and do this.
Okay.
There's interest there that are going, wait a second, hold on. We don't need them. We'll keep what we got.
Interesting. Okay. Let's get to what happened last night, because you mentioned the Kyrie situation and what it was refunded by Fanatics. Kyrie blows his knee out, ACL. The Mavericks now have no Luka. They have no Kyrie, and they got Anthony Davis, who was hurt, has played a grand total of 3 quarters so far. If you're a Maverick fan, what do you do? Like, how do you keep supporting this team?
I think it's done. I think it's done now. Like, you should have taken the money if they were refunding the tickets. I don't know if they're still refunding the tickets, but
no, they raised ticket prices by 8%.
They're going to. Yes,
no, they did.
Next year.
They already did. They did it, and they charged them with an auto charge because it's on auto rollover. So they raised it by 8% and then auto charged everybody for next year.
Yeah, that's
ballsy move.
Welcome to professional sports. It's not always good, and it's one of those things where we were watching the highlights yesterday, and we saw the Kyrie injury. It was very unfortunate. Looked like he was just driving to the hoop, blew his knee out, shot the 2 free throws, and then said, "I'm done." It came out yesterday that AD now is not going to come back,
right?
Because what the hell am I coming back for?
What's the
If
point?
Kyrie ain't playing, I ain't playing.
Yep.
Which means now, do they make the play-in?
No, they don't want to.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I don't think they do.
Play
Guys,
tonight.
type it in the chat. I'll watch the replay on the
killed
chat.
tonight.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna get annihilated today, and no. I mean,
Who they play today? I didn't even look.
Hold on. I have a bet on it. I should know. Let's see. They are playing the Bucks on the road.
How many points are they getting? Double digits?
It was 10 last night. It currently is 10.5.
Yeah. That's a number.
Yeah, 10.5 for them.
I haven't even looked at a line in a NBA game in 3 days and just came up with 10 in my head.
Well, you would have liked to have been at the Suns game last night, because Kevin Durant went crazy in the fourth quarter, scored 19 points in the fourth quarter, had a game-high 34 points, a 23-point comeback for the Suns to blow my parlay. Clippers just fell apart. There's a lot of bad basketball right now in the West. Like,
wait a second. The Suns won that game?
Yes.
So we were out to dinner after the kids, and it was on the TV, and they kept cutting in with the LeBron 50,000 points thing.
Uh-huh.
And the Suns didn't even look like they were trying.
Because they weren't.
They were getting killed. They were mad. It was bad.
Yep,
I had it all with no sound over the table, and I kept looking up going, I wonder what the end game is right now. That's how bad, like this, the business is completely, ingrained into my head. But I'm looking down going, they got to be getting over 20. They were getting over 20 in game.
Had to.
They came back and won?
Outright. Yep.
Oh, my Lord.
Kawhi disappeared. And then Harden just shot them out of the game. Harden was taking every shot and missing every shot. Like, it was just like watching a slow-moving train wreck, like we were talking about before. And Kevin Durant just couldn't miss. Like, he was on fire. Scored 19 points. They got the lead, never gave it back. Won the game by 2.
My God.
Could have saved the season for the Suns are coming out of it saying, we just saved our season. Like, we did something that we now know we can do. And Booker didn't play great, but looked like KD of old in the fourth quarter, scoring 19 points last night. He was unbelievable. LeBron, like you mentioned, scored 50,000 points, hit that margin. He's got almost 6,000 more points than Kareem at number 2. Does anybody break this? Does anyone get to 50,000 or break LeBron's record? Because I feel like he's going to put this thing up on a pedestal that no one's going to touch.
There's a couple things that are probably never going to happen again. Points, records. Nobody's hitting 400 again. I don't think so. You can't do it now.
Right.
56 game hitting streak, Joe DiMaggio, virtually impossible. I don't think you're ever going to see that again.
Right. This game's a little hits.
I don't know if the number of hits is possible to catch Pete Rose with that. There's nobody getting close to 50,000 points just because they're not going to play long enough. Now, they're getting them by threes instead of by twos for a lot of guys. But the guys that are even remotely close to possible to do this are not getting 50,000 points. So the answer to your question is, will anyone ever do that again? No, they will not.
I mean, LeBron came in. We don't have high schoolers anymore, and we don't have guys who play into their 40s who score at this level. I mean, LeBron has scored since he turned 30. LeBron has scored so many points, like just incredible the numbers he is putting up from 30 on now into his 40s. So I don't think he's going to put this number up in a place where no one's going to touch it once all said and done. Number 1, Auburn goes down last night. A&M snaps a 4-game losing streak. First time they win over a number 1 ranked team. Auburn looked totally uninterested. It's why I didn't bet the game. Because I was like, man, Auburn might just say, we won the SEC already. What's the point? A&M by far had to have it last night. I still don't really like A&M, but that was a big win last night for them.
Again, it just makes the case for the SEC. I don't know if it makes it stronger, but it makes another case where, a team who's not one of the top 2 or 3 can beat anyone at any point, right? Now, again, it was at Texas A&M. So, again, the road thing is real.
Nice hit to Juice. That's a hell of a play. Arkansas's win last night.
And the Hogs money line parlay cash at plus 881. Very nice work to Juice. That's
hell
good.
Of a hit. Good play.
I don't think. Do you think it makes someone go, "Oh, Texas A&M is worthy of a run in March, or worthy of a ticket in winning the whole thing"?
No, but it puts them into the dance, though. They were in probably anyway, but they get a much better seed now. I mean, Lenardi yesterday had 11 Big Ten teams and 12 SEC teams in, and then Texas won. So Texas is now going to be in. Georgia won. So Georgia's going to be in. So now you got 13 teams from the SEC that are going to be in to his bracket.
I don't think Texas is getting in. I still don't.
They were the last team out. Ohio State and Nebraska went to double overtime last night, and Ohio State won that game. So I think that probably ends Nebraska. They were on the bubble, and puts Ohio State in, but knocks out Nebraska. So the Huskers are going to need to do some work to get in, but I think it's going to be Texas, Ohio State, Nebraska, Georgia. All those teams are going to be in the same conversation about the final 12 seed to get in. I wouldn't put Texas in, even with their win last night. I wouldn't put Texas in. I don't think they're a tournament team. But they won last night, and Mississippi State looked like crap again last night. So I'm not in love with A&M. I'm not in love with Texas. I'm not in love with Texas A&M. Even though the SEC is really good, when you watch some of these teams, I'm not overly impressed. The bottom of the conference is good, but it's not. They can't compete with the upper 5 teams in the conference.
Right.
They're not on their level by any means. There's a big drop there between the top 5 and everybody else. But the Big 12 tournament, we're going to be there for the SEC.
Yeah.
BYU last night, they were up by 20 and almost blew it. And Iowa State came storming back, lost it in double overtime.
And there wasn't a person anywhere where I was that cared about this game, even enough to put it on the damn TV, which was annoying me because they had the Auburn game on. We are in kind of SEC country.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, they're like, we're not putting that game on. Iowa State and BYU. And I'm like, it's a really good game. And they're like, yeah, we're leaving that on the screen. Oh, okay. When you start fighting about the TVs, you remember how lucky we are to live in Vegas where they just put all the games on, the TVs. Yep. It doesn't matter. I found that out when I went to West Virginia. I put on all the NFL games on the wall, and they were like, can we just watch the Steelers and Browns on that game and the Bengals on the other one?
Yeah.
We don't want to watch all those other games. I'm like, yeah, but they're good games. They're like, no, we don't want to watch them. So that was interesting. BYU is going to be a very hard team to handicap. I think, in the tournament. And depending on even in the Big 12 tournament, that's going to be one of those ones where they may catch somebody, but if they shoot bad, they may get caught and blasted.
That's what I was on with Terrell last night doing the live stream, and he liked Iowa State, and I kept on telling him, like, if BYU hits their threes, they can beat anybody in the country.
Yeah.
That's the problem with that team, is that they can be scary good at times. If their threes are falling, they play defense, and it's like they got boys, they got men, big dudes that can protect the rim. They make it really difficult to push them around. So that's a huge confidence build, in particular because if they had lost that game after being up by 20, that would have been such a deflating loss for BYU. That would have been like, my God, how do you blow that? So the fact they hung on and won was impressive. And then Kentucky, I mean, they won 95-64 last night over LSU.
LSU's so bad.
They are, but I think Kentucky's going to Nashville with a purpose. I wouldn't want to play Kentucky in Nashville. No way.
Well, I think we've seen it a couple times. Kentucky will have a game where you'll be like, okay, that's a team that could, get to San Antonio.
Right.
And then they'll have another game and you're like, they're not winning
anything
more than one game.
Yeah.
Maybe in the tournament. And depending on the matchup, they could lose in the first round. It's crazy how I don't know if the word wide open, I don't know what to use, but I think we're going to see some serious variance with teams, brand names that we're not used to seeing it with.
Go down, right?
Yeah.
Tonight, Tennessee on the road at Ole Miss. They're 2.5-point road favorites.
What's the total?
Let's see, updated total.
140?
145, I thought. Hold on. Let's see. For the live total, the live total for that is 138.
Still got it.
For Tennessee in Ole Miss tonight.
Under. That game's an under. I like under. And I like Ole Miss.
Ole Miss at home needs it more. If you go with the same number, Ole Miss needs it. Tennessee doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's there you go. The juice likes the Rebels.
Yeah.
With that. The line says Miss. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, good to see you. Yeah.
True. I would say that to see what happens with that. Game of the night, Florida, your neck of the woods, on the road at Bama. Bama's a home favorite, 3.5. Total 178.5.
What time is this game?
I think prime time, 8 o'clock your time.
8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna have to see what we're doing later.
7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock your time.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the East Coast time zone sucks for sports. I really don't like it. It's
hard.
really it's I was trying to even remotely see the tip-off of Arizona State last night.
10 p.m., forget it.
And by the time we got out of the place we were eating, they wouldn't switch the TV. They had to watch that Auburn, Texas A&M game all the way to the end.
Yeah.
We came back to the room, and there wasn't one person that I'm with in the entire hotel room. Wanted to watch basketball. So I was like, all right, I'll just go to sleep.
This is a sneaky underplay, by the way. Everyone's going to say bet the over on this, but 178.5. Let this climb. Alabama at home this year is 8-5-1 to the under. Florida on the road is 8-6 to the under.
It's a good number. My first thought when I saw the matchup was 180. I'm surprised it's 3.5. Thought it'd be a little bit higher. This tells me Florida might be live.
Oh, they are. Oh, they are. 100%. To me, they're live. Look, I love Florida. I think as long as they're healthy going into the tournament, they should be a 1 seed. I think if they win tonight, that locks up the 1 seed for Florida. If they beat Alabama at Bama, they're going to be the 1 seed.
Where do they have Alabama? As a 2, pretty much?
Yes. Yeah,
a 2 seed, right? Yeah.
Your current number 1 seeds as of this morning from Joe Lenardi is, let's see.
Auburn, Houston.
Number 1, Duke. Auburn. Number 1, Duke. Number 1, Tennessee. And number 1, Houston. Damn. Lenardi has Tennessee as a number 1 seed in Lexington. That's going to be all volunteer fans. Holy Christmas.
Who are the 2 seeds?
The 2 seeds are Iowa State, Florida, Alabama, and Michigan State.
Ooh, Michigan State. Okay.
Makes sense. I think that they've earned that with how well they're playing right now.
Right. Yeah.
They win the Big Ten tournament. They'll lock it up. So right now, Lenardi has 12 SEC teams and 11 Big Ten teams that are in. His first 4 out are Oklahoma, Xavier, North Carolina, and Texas. Those are some serious brand names.
Yep.
And your last 4 in are Ohio State, Arkansas, Nebraska, and Boise State. But that was updated yesterday morning.
Okay.
So Nebraska and Ohio State just played. So we'll wait for Lenardi. That will change because Ohio State and Nebraska faced off, went to double overtime. Ohio State won. So one of those teams won't be on that line when it's all said and done.
Okay.
But big game for Tennessee tonight. Big game for Florida tonight. Where does he have Florida? Let's see, because it's 2 seed, right?
2 seed, yeah.
Iowa State, Florida, 2 seeds. Tonight in the Big Ten, Maryland at Michigan. Michigan a home favorite minus 2.5. I hate the way that Michigan's playing, but Maryland is so good at home and so different on the road.
Yeah, our first lean would be to Maryland, seeing that number. And again, maybe that's more to do with the way Michigan's playing.
Yeah, it's yuck right now with Michigan.
But one of those teams that I think we'll talk about come the Big Ten tournament will be Maryland. They're going to beat somebody or they're going to win 2 or 3 games, and you're going to go, wait a second, wow, Maryland's pretty good. They are pretty good.
If you go by the KenPom ratings, and this is what you always look for, but right now they have the top 30 KenPom defense, top 20 KenPom offense. Top 30 KenPom offense, top 20 KenPom defense.
Defense, yeah.
Those are the 2 things you have to win the national championship. Since 1993, it's been 95% of the teams are in that criteria. So you've got a 29 in efficiency offense and an 11th in efficiency defense for Maryland. Their metrics are tremendous.
Yeah.
Just tremendous for them. So the whole question is they're unbelievable at home. They're 12-6 in the Big Ten, but they lost to Michigan State at home that snapped that 13-game home game. That was a half-court shot that Michigan State hit to win the game. That snapped their 13 straight home winning streak. So let's see how they bounce back off of that. Marquette at UConn tonight, laying 3.5.
What's your first thought on that?
UConn, I bet it.
Yeah, probably. Have they played already this season?
Yep.
What happened?
That was a win for UConn, but let me just.
UConn won at Marquette?
I believe so. Yeah, hold on. Let me double check.
What time of year was that?
Let's see. They won 77-69 at Marquette.
When was that? In January?
February 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah, you probably rather lay it first up.
It's a 1-point win according to KenPom, but I think UConn at home. They need this game. Bet money line too. Yeah, Roger, like that home team money line. Yeah, I think it's probably a good play coming up on that. You're down watching softball and baseball, obviously.
Yep.
You ever see a 23-run inning without a home run being hit?
No, I thought it was a mistake when you typed this. This really happened?
This really happened. A 23. They said 28 batters to the plate. They drew 8 walks plus 5 batters got hit by pitches, 6 singles and 5 doubles. That's your record.
That's incredible.
23-run inning.
How many pitchers did they use? I feel bad for the pitchers.
Let's see.
I mean, you can't get anybody out.
It is the most scored in a single inning in NCAA history. The crazy part about it, the first batter grounded out. The first batter of the inning made it out. And then they just went absolutely nuts against Holy Cross. Where walks, it was walk, single, hit by pitch, double single, hit by pitch, error, double, walk, hit by pitch, walk, double single, hit by pitch, walk, double single, hit by pitch, double, pop out, 2 outs. Walk, double, single, walk, single, fielder's choice.
I mean,
23 runs.
The guys had to be coming back into the dugout going, what like your one, it sounds like there were 8 hit by pitches.
Five.
Okay,
Five.
five. Okay, so you're nervous for your life, like getting hit by the pitch, bad enough. But if you don't get hit by a pitch, you get on base, pretty much. Like, so can you imagine the people that got grilled for making the outs? We scored. What if one guy made 2 outs? Like the way they batted around.
Wait, Jimmy Football says the same pitcher they never replaced the pitcher?
Oh, no. They had to replace the pitcher, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't think
impossible.
so.
No,
Yeah,
that's impossible.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I haven't seen it.
I'll double check that. That's impossible.
Had to be multiple pitchers.
Let's see. How many pitchers did they throw in that inning? 19 plates by the time they recorded the second out. Wow. When the game was over, George Mason had recorded twice as many runs as they did hits. 26 runs, 13 hits.
13 hits. Yeah, because there was walks and hit by pitches. I mean,
there's no video evidence of any of this happening. Only a box score that you could go ahead and pull about how many pitchers were actually used. And oh my gosh, they used a ton. Like they replaced. they did a lot of let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitchers in the inning. So they were going quite consistently to the mound to go to go and get different pitchers to come on in to be a part of that. Crazy stuff. There you are. Did you freeze?
Yeah, I got a call.
Oh, good. So we didn't lose you. That's good.
No.
Normally we were losing you. Time now for better. All right, so I cannot get a college basketball bet to save my life, right? But I've hit for our Daily Juice play of the day. I've hit 13 straight, so I'm 13-0 on these plays. So
fantastic.
Well, not really. When you go 1 for 4 and the one play is the play of the day, that's great. But you lose.
Oh, yeah.
I got house yesterday with the one pick. Actually, I mean, it looked all pretty, but it was in reality for the bankroll. It was a very bad day. So I'm chasing today. Capitals puck line against the Rangers today at plus 220. Better book it.
Book it.
It's a 5.5 number. 5-3-7-4. The first 2 games for Washington up against the Rangers.
Do we have the goalies?
Not last night. We didn't, but I'll tell you right now.
I just looked ahead. I didn't see.
It is Lindgren against Shesterkin.
I definitely don't think it's a good bet. That I say book it.
3-1 final.
I hope you're right.
2-1 with an open net.
You might need an open net, which is
I know.
fine. Those cover, yeah.
Yes. Well, 100% need an open net.
Oh, this one may go to overtime, though. Just be aware of that.
So I bet money line. I bet Capitals puck line and Capitals money line. I bet them both.
What's the money line?
Last night was
small, right? Yeah, I was going to
say
has to be small.
Yeah,
laying these. This is dangerous. I mean, it's a good way to help the units.
Yes,
is to go to plus 220. But
I'm chasing. I'm literally chasing tonight. Like after last night, I'm chasing.
Yeah, this is a book it.
Yeah,
sorry.
UConn minus 3.5.
I like this. I think this is a bet. I think this will get you off the schneid.
I hope so, but I can't. I mean, I'm just so cold right now betting college basketball. It's been ridiculous because I've been so good at NBA player props. It saved my ass. But it's just like NFL and college football for me when I couldn't get a college football bet wrong and I couldn't get an NFL bet right.
Right.
I can't get a college basketball bet right. I can't get a college, an NBA play wrong. I haven't had an NBA player prop losing day in 3 weeks, but I can't get a college basketball bet. I can't get a college basketball bet to save my life.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous how it is. But
should have just played the hockey games I gave you on Monday.
What hockey games you gave me on Monday?
We did this show. I gave you 2 hockey games on Monday. We did bet it or book it. I gave you 2 games.
The under came in.
They both did.
That Florida under was 2-1.
Florida and Tampa
good
was
call
2-1, and the Rangers and Islanders was 4-0. It was never in doubt.
Favorite thing about today is what?
The beach is great, but the beach sucks when it's raining or windy. There's card games breaking out in the lobby here. There's I don't know what they have, these rubber darts that these guys just broke out. Looks like cornhole with rubber dart things. I have no idea what's going on in this joint. Apparently, a lot of the people from the softball are staying here.
Okay.
And they're from different parts of the country,
Okay.
where they kind of just take over, which is really interesting. But my favorite thing about today is that when we're done here, I'm going to meet the kids, and we're hanging out. I have to pick up all the checks. There's nowhere for us to go, and do stuff really outside because it's windy. And I mean, there's some big clouds hanging over us right now, and it's not raining at the moment. But we were going to spend the day out at the beach and do stuff. So, yeah, plans change. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like baseball games get delayed. I was told this morning we now have 3 games to watch tomorrow, 2 games on Friday.
Wow.
And 2 on Saturday. So 7 games in the next 3 days. I'm glad he brought down the full travel squad. Hopefully we'll get in and we'll get to watch the kids actually play, because they've had some sporadic at-bats and things and stuff. But family day, the best. That's what today is. That's my favorite thing.
Good, in Florida. Yeah, favorite thing about today is I'm glad that we were able to get Elf on. And really, that was a fun conversation to have him and to get him on there. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, go back and watch it. And then if you haven't seen his spaces, watch it tonight, because you'll come back tomorrow or the next time we do the show, whenever it's going to be, and go, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, try to tell you.
You weren't kidding when it comes to that. So, as always, stay tuned. We'll figure out Dave's schedule.
Let's see if I can walk with this thing here. Get outside. I want to see if it's really, really windy.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
we're still on Sports Grid, Dave.
Is this, what's that?
We're still on Sports Grid.
Are we?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm genuinely asking the question. That's
right. It's fine. You're pulling your Kenny Mayne here.
Yeah, right. We're going to go outside. I'm holding the
reception's great, though.
Tripod. So, we're staying.
Oh,
right.
How windy?
Get outside. It's too bad right now. Can you hear it now?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really.
Oh.
Let's just get a peek at the
Is it raining? It's not raining. These folks are laying out behind you.
It's not raining at the moment. Listen, it's Florida. They lay out anytime. Cloudy. Right. Doesn't matter. Let's see. See if we can get out to the beach.
God, it looks gray behind you. The sky behind you is not great. Yikes.
Yeah, we ain't joking. Look. All right, let's see if we can get out.
You guys are right on the beach. Good spot.
Right.
Look at the hotel. Dang.
Yeah.
Go get a baseball or a softball. Just go play catch on the beach.
I know, right? Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stand in the stand.
That's awesome.
Right there.
Surf lessons. Brooks just went down and did that in Florida, where you are.
Yeah, looks nice.
Good surfing day.
Hell no.
Go, wind. You want wind with waves. Oh, yeah. Great surfing day.
It looks pretty rough out there.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great for surfing with the rough.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah. Go have fun. Right. So, all right. Guys, Discord channel, stay there. We'll tell you when we're doing the show next. We're going to be Thursday or Friday. Figure out what we're going to do with Dave's schedule. So stay tuned. We'll alert you guys when there's another episode of BVB. Thank you for being here. He's Dave. I am Matt. We are back soon for another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book.